Regan recently joined a discussion on the controversy surrounding women's rights in Scotland, highlighting several ongoing political and legal issues. She began by noting the absence of an NHS Scotland app comparable to the one in England, explaining that she still books medical appointments the traditional way, by calling her GP. This came up in the context of recent errors found in medical records, raising broader questions about healthcare management. The conversation quickly turned to the landmark UK Supreme Court ruling on the legal definition of a woman. A case brought forward by 3 determined Scottish women campaigners. Regan described the ruling as a major victory, not only legally, but emotionally. Watching the verdict in Edinburgh, she said the room erupted in celebration, a stark contrast to the enforced silence in the courtroom itself. According to Regan, the fact that the case had to reach the Supreme Court at all was troubling. It's astonishing that we had to spend so much time and public money just to reaffirm the basic biological definitions of sex in law, she said. She criticized the Scottish government for failing to accept responsibility after the defeat, calling it shocking that no one resigned or apologized. Regan, who resigned from her government position over the gender recognition reforms, expressed frustration at the lack of accountability. She argued that women's rights were being pushed aside in favor of ideological agendas, and she noted how many women felt ignored or silenced when raising concerns, sometimes even punished professionally. She also pointed to Labour leader Keir Starmer's reluctance to clearly state his position. He couldn't even say a trans woman is not a woman, she said, criticizing what she saw as vague, evasive political language. Regan emphasized that protecting women's rights doesn't mean discriminating against anyone. It simply means rebalancing rights that had become skewed. She condemned the Scottish government's use of the Equality and Human Rights Commission, EHRC, as an excuse for inaction, saying, "What's the point of having a government if they won't govern?" Regan also criticized Maggie Chapman of the Scottish Green Party, who drew backlash for calling the Supreme Court ruling bigoted. Chapman sits on the Equalities and Human Rights Committee, an influential position that Regan argued was now compromised. The women's group that won the court case, For Women Scotland, has refused to participate in committee proceedings as long as Chapman remains, citing bias. Despite a vote to remove her, Chapman held her position, voting for herself in the process. Regan pointed out that the same committee was responsible for overseeing the Gender Recognition Reform Bill, which was later struck down. She called for its members to step down, arguing they had repeatedly failed in their duties. Concluding the conversation, Regan said political trust could begin to be restored if leaders admitted past mistakes. People feel gaslit by years of ideological overreach. It's time politicians spoke plainly and acknowledged they got it wrong.